Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee and I'm in Bilbao, and we're back with a review show because we've taken 6 points from the dirty bastard Mags. After all they promised that we'll be down by Christmas and we'll easy 6 points. Well, it hasn't exactly gone that way, and Alan Shearer is literally crying in his fucking bed, isn't he, right now? But anyway, we've got a handful of guests today, the Southern Hemisphere crew. We've got Indigo in Tokyo, Japan. Indigo, welcome to the podcast. How are you, mate?
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast again. And it's never been a better time to be on the podcast and share my views on Sunderland today.
You couldn't have summed that up better. Can I just end the podcast now, Indigo? Because I couldn't think of a better way to end it. That was a great introduction. And we've also got the Brisbane lads. We've got Chris in Brisbane. Chris, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I suppose it made your Sunday evening and Monday morning better.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and we've also got Anth Mackham. He's also in Brisbane. Anth, I imagine it was the same for
Alright.
you.
Oh, pretty much, mate. Absolutely buzzing. Cannot end the weekend any better. Oh, there's some other good football news as well across the board, of course, but yeah, we'll get into that as well, don't we?
Yeah. Right. Well, listen, I'm going to start the podcast with, with the way with the way we're going to go on because I'm looking at online content and like this one, I think just like sums it up. I think you can see my screen, lads.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So I just saw this on social media and said, Anthony Timby, I don't know you, mate, but this is how pretty much all of us Sunderland fans feel.
Come on, you bastards! Come on! What a goal! Joanne, you missed it! Come on, you bastard!
What a brave man.
So yeah, fair play to that bloke. But yeah, that's how we're going to continue. So Anth, we'll start with you then. I mean, it was a quiet build-up, wasn't it, for the match because the Mags had a game midweek against Barcelona and they got absolutely hammered. Our social media did the same as in the first match. They kept it like kind of low key from the club's point of view, which I think is a good idea, isn't it? It kind of keeps the fans in check a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. So for me, it was more of like a quiet reservation of not like overhyping it and putting too much pressure on the lads to do something. Like obviously it's a derby, you're going to be buzzing about it either way. Just do it in the right way. Don't go easy 3 points, easy 6 points. Let's smash them. I kind of think half the stuff that they did, the pyros, the T4s, that kind of thing, kind of looks embarrassing in retrospect. The way they reacted on the pitch to all of that. So yeah, from our club, just classy, just keep it reserved. The hosts instead of the visitors this time, getting humbled, class.
Well, yeah, it was totally class. And Anth, I mean, they had some typhos. They had like their typho was like a magpie with a hat on. It looked like fucking Howard the Duck, didn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
But Chris, for us fans, the build-up was nerve-wracking as anything, wasn't it? It was just for us, we weren't getting away from it, but for the players, they were kind of protected a little bit. How were you feeling in the build-up of the match and the days before, the week before?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's. I could bluff now in retrospect, but I was nervous about it, and I hate the derbies. Like, I hate the build-up. I hate how nervous I get. I hate the whole thing. Like, I genuinely do. It's great. I mean, it's great when you win them when you come out the other side, but the build-up, and completely agree with what you were saying about. I like how we do it quite subtly. It's very unmag-like, which is very good. It's the way it should be. Like, it's just very, yeah. Look, there's a game coming up, and there's a lot of stuff on Instagram about goals that we scored against them and previous good results and all the rest of it. But there was no boasting. There was no, we're going to do this or that or the other, and it was just very low key. So yeah, honestly, full transparency, I was very nervous.
Yeah, And Indigo, you had a kind of like meet up in a watch along party in Hong Kong. That's our other guest. That's Ciaran in Tokyo, Japan. As you can see in the picture behind you, yeah, about 20 Mackhams there, and a couple of Leeds fans you mentioned. Must have been like what, a late kickoff, was it? At 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock?
Actually, it's quite early in Tokyo to have a 9 o'clock kickoff game, probably the earliest we've experienced, if you don't count the 4 o'clock games or midnight games that we very often have. But it was great to have so many Meckhams gather to watch the game, and the results only made things better.
Yeah, very good. And Ciaran, you've joined us from Hong Kong. You've overcome your technological issues. How are you, mate? And now he can't even turn his mic on. Well, we'll just look at you. Anyway, right. So, Anth, team news came out. There was, well, I mean, our hope was that we were going to get some players back, possibly starting. I think it was always unlikely that Robin Roofs and Dan Ballard were going to play because there'd been no talk about Roofs in the build-up, even in the press conferences. Like Labrie didn't really mention him. Ballard, when you get a hamstring injury, you're thinking that doesn't sound like it's going to heal in a week. And so we were left with Reynildo, Lafay, and Mukiele. And in the end, none of them played. They all started from the bench.
Yeah, I think you kind of like getting the knife into me early here because Roofs and Ballard would not have made the sloppy mistake that Elborg and 09 did with the way they cleared that out. That got me so I was so angry in that 10th minute because of that. So yes, we are desperately missing Ballard in key moments and just like keeping a level head because I don't think, based on the overall performance, if Ballard was starting, Newcastle wouldn't have scored a single goal past us. He's just too much of a powerhouse. So a massive miss. Yeah, disappointing. Hopefully he's back before the Spurs game, but like we've got to deal with the players and the cards that we've dealt with, and obviously at the end of the 90, it's worked in our favour. But yeah, he's not Elborg. I don't think is our number one choice. I think he feels like an early Patterson, and Robin Roofs is just. I don't know if he's played his last game already. To be honest, because when he does come fit, he might play the last 2 or 3 games, but he's likely to get sold in the summer as well. So yeah. Yeah, 2 huge misses, but not disappointing at the end of the 90, so that's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ciaran, are you with us finally? Yeah. Your microphone's off. Go on, turn your microphone on. There you go.
Can you hear us?
I can, mate. Hey,
Sorry, can it smell wide enough, Lee? Still on cloud 9 from Sunday night, so it's been a cracking few days of non-stop YouTube highlights and like official club videos of like post-match celebrations and bloody the behind the away days video sort of thing. I haven't been able to stop watching all of it, so it's been a brilliant few days, as I'm sure it has been for everybody on this chat and everybody watching it at home as well.
Yeah, well, mate, you're gonna have to wait until I upload the episode later to find the best bit of the podcast, which you missed at the start. So, so yeah, you look forward to that with a glass of wine.
Nice.
Chris, I mean, when the team news came out and everyone saw that 09 was playing, there was no Ballard, none of the players were playing. You saw the reaction; it was quite negative, wasn't it? I mean, even Newcastle fans were goading us, saying, 09's playing." Sunderland fans were playing. He's going to make a mistake. And I suppose that when he made that mistake for their goal, that kind of must have given some kind of pleasure. But I mean, I was just thinking, like, you got to back the lad. Like, you got to support him. Like, he's our player. It's a derby. And we know that Luke 09 is that he'll have setback after setback, but he'll always overcome that setback. So were you a little disappointed that our fans were having a dig at 09 just because he was in the starting 11?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't think he's done. He's had a couple of ricks in him this season. Man City's an obvious one, and he's had a couple of other mistakes. I think the clearance against Newcastle, I think he was trying to volley it, and he lost his footing. Like, I don't think he was trying to be clever and play it to Xhaka, who was clearly being marked by our former number 9, Walter Mata. I think he was trying to hoof it and he just slipped. If you really watch it, like he kind of loses his hip and then he goes and he fluffs it. But the boys, his mentality is unbelievable. Like people write him off all the time. As soon as we got promoted to the championship, people were like, nah, he'll never play. And he's pretty much ever present. And then we got promoted and people were like, oh, I'd be a liability. And he's had some really good games for us in the Premier League. He hasn't let us down. Like he's made a couple of mistakes, but anybody can make a mistake. So I love the guy. I really do. I think his attitude is just phenomenal. It'll
Yep.
be a sad day when he leaves.
Well, hopefully it won't be for a while yet. He'll join the coaching staff.
Yeah.
No, there's actually a video that I want to watch on social media of him talking to his mate Rob. What's he called? Rob Blackburn, I think he's called. Who does the podcast with, like the inner game
Yeah.
management, and he's asking him what went through his mind when he made that mistake and how he
All right.
reacted. And it's on social media, but I need to watch it. So, but yeah,
I'll have to find that. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
yeah. Indigo. The game started as you'd expect. Newcastle with the home advantage. They were on top. They had a couple of good chances. I mean, Elanga had a header after 3 minutes over the bar. It was expected, wasn't it, that they would come and attack us and try and get that early advantage. And I thought that we kind of, until the goal, we kind of weathered that storm a little bit well. And I thought Elanga was actually unlucky not to get a yellow card or even a red card for the tackle he made on Trey Hume, because like he went up for a tackle with Trey Hume and he put his boot really high. And I thought that he was unlucky not to get a yellow card for that. But how are you feeling for the first 5 minutes of the match?
I was very, very nervous, to be honest. But yeah, I thought many of the players, especially those who hadn't been starting games very much, seemed a bit nervous in the atmosphere of of St. James Park, and probably they needed a couple minutes to get used to the atmosphere, but I knew like '09 and Aldrete would somehow weather the storm, and if we got later into the game, I thought we would be able to grow into it. So overall, very nervous, but somewhat confident at the same time.
Yeah, I think he mentioned there, like '09 had only played what was only his second start in the Premier League or third start, and for Elborg as well in the Premier League. So for them, it must have been like a baptism of fire. Ciaran, on their goal, obviously it was a massive fuck up. I mean, it came from, well, they had was it a corner they had? We had a goal kick, and
Yeah.
you saw Elborg like have a chat with '09, and obviously when we're watching the game live, you can't really see what they're trying to do, but there's an angle from behind the goal from the stands when you can see exactly what '09 is trying to do. He's basically saying, okay, Elborg, I'll pass to '09. We'll bring the players in, and then we'll create that space behind Xhaka, because there was a huge gap behind Xhaka for Bobby to hold the ball up. And I think if you see '09 actually slips as he kicks it, doesn't he? And that's why he doesn't get the lift on the ball. But obviously, as watching that game live and from the angle we had, we didn't see that. But we were just kind of basically shouting '09 and want to fucking string him up and whip him for there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
wasn't his finest moment, was it?
no. So, go on.
No, I was just going to say, as Anth, I think it was Anth or Chris rightly said earlier on, these things happen, mistakes are made. It was a shame it was in such a high-profile game. If only it was against Burnley at home when we were already 3-0 up or something, and it can sort of be lost to the annals of time. But yeah, I don't think anybody on either of the rivers will be forgetting that mistake in a while. But thankfully, it didn't really affect didn't affect the eventual result. Even this, obviously, despite us giving them a goal, they still couldn't beat their little neighbours down the road. So, yeah, it's a very, very shaky start from the lads. Obviously, that Elanga chance early doors as well. They headed beforehand, but they were always going to come out up for it and attacking us early doors. Obviously, they had the pre-match sort of show. They had the big teeth of the pigeon wearing a hat, which I think we were all very intimidated by. I'm sure everybody on the call was terrified. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since, like. And they had those two little silly messages saying that we're in the region's capital or something. I don't remember the match being played in Durham, but yeah, it was they obviously like to make a show of themselves, and they saw our fantastic T4 attempt in December and how well it went for us winning the game, and they thought, oh, we'll have a bit of that as well, and didn't quite happen, lads. So fair, better luck next time. But yeah, I think going back to Luke, these things happen. You could, as you've just rightly said there, you can absolutely see what he was trying to do, especially in that second angle from behind the goal, where it was, completely strategic. You could see himself, and Elborg had spoken about it before. Elborg played the ball, and yeah, if you want him to put the ball anywhere apart from where he actually did put it, and sod's law that it goes there, but didn't particularly hurt things in the long run, and we still got the job done in the end. So.
Yeah, no, and on that Typho, yeah, it was like the what was it, like the region's capital? I mean, this is a team that tries to claim that Durham Cathedral is part of Newcastle.
Exactly,
but anyway.
and all the Gateshead monuments as well.
Yeah, as well. And I suppose going 1-0 down away from home against your local rivals after 7 minutes, after a big fuck up like that, it takes a lot to come back from that. You need to kind of rally round. And it's true that Newcastle did have a couple of other moments shortly after that. But I thought, like, after 15 minutes, we kind of got to grips with the game, and I thought we managed it better.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think Eddie Howe did anything magical in this game. And I've seen multiple tweets, posts, and whatever. And a lot of rage from Mags, basically saying, Eddie, you're embarrassing. Get out of our club. Oh, I never want to see you again. Just the tears are feeding my honey pot of amber nectar of Mag tears in the corner there. It's delightful. But I think what we did, I'm going to quickly just go over the goal again, just very, very thing, because that to me is a tactic decision to not let Elborg hoof it long. Most goalkeepers are able to kick it long. So for some reason, rather than Elborg doing that, they've chosen 09. So 09 must have a much further kick than Elborg, which again speaks to that maturity level. There's been a bit of analysis and a bit of background on how Elborg can play and how Luke 09 can support. And I think that's fine, but it's the most dangerous player. It's essentially a pass across the back, and it can be attacked straight away. So that needs to be addressed. But again, we kept our heads the entire time. We didn't really change how we played for the entire 90. We just grew momentum. We had the longevity of it. We had the sustainability, and we had a clear way of getting our goals. We executed it took us a long time to get to that point of us getting goals, but yeah, we were the better team. I had a little bit of back and forth with yourself just beforehand, didn't I, as well, about how terrible our entire first half was. But maybe that's just like in the moment going, we're 1-0 behind at halftime. I absolutely detested that. But the second half, obviously, the Mags didn't look like they were in it at all. But I think the switching point for me was like the 26th, 27th minute when Alanga does do that like high boot and nearly gets that red card. I think that's the moment where they're like, oh, we don't want to put ourselves too far out because we're going to get cards. It's a derby. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
No. I agree. I think like they didn't really do anything after the goal. Chris, I'm going to come to you. I mean, they scored that goal. 13 minutes in, Granit Xhaka has a shot over the bar from the corner. He completely fucking skies it. And you see his reaction. He's kind of angry at himself. He's shouting. At that point, I'm thinking, oh, Christ, if Granit's losing his temper after 13 minutes, it's not going to be our day. But as we mentioned, like I think after 15 minutes, we started to get into the game. I mean, there was a moment where Talby had a lovely touch. I don't know if you remember it, where there was like a long ball. It was like a bit of a deflection. The ball bounced up and Talby's running towards the wing. And it's going towards the throw-in. And Joe Linton's coming to close him down. And he takes this touch around Joe Linton. And I thought that was absolutely so underrated. It didn't get as much attention as it deserved. But how did you see the way we reacted after that setback?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, I'll be honest. When first time watching it live, I was like this. I was like through my fingers. Like I was very nervous, especially when they went one up so early. And I didn't really pay enough attention to the game. I was more just panicking every time they did get forwards. I've watched it again back to back twice. I've watched the full 90 minutes twice now. And from about 15, 20 minutes, there's really nothing for us to worry about. And yes, they hit the post. They have a couple of other cracks. But other than that, there wasn't really anything from them, especially second half. Second half, we were superb. We absolutely battered them. I think Talby had a really good game overall. I think he was great. He was absolutely fantastic. He was all over the place, and his control and his touches were great. Obviously, he got the goal. That shot that he had, that was going in. That big curler was going in before what's his name saved it. What's his name? I forget his
Ramsdale.
name. That's him. Thank
Ramsdale,
you,
yeah.
Ramsdale, who we were linked with. Thankfully, we didn't sign. Yeah, that was definitely going in. So he was excellent. He had a really, really good game, and I think after 15, 20 minutes, I think we really settled down. I think we were rattled. Early goal, mistake. Nobody's happy. They're roaring and screaming, and I mean, the way they were yelling for throw-ins and tackles and things was very intimidating. It must have been really intimidating for the players. But once we settled, like I said, having watched it back, there was really nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, in that first half, they had the Alanga header. Alanga had a shot which went to the side netting, but
Yeah,
I think it was I'm not sure it was Trout or O'Nien. They basically sent him wide and he's left footed and he's not left footed and they hit it into the side netting, and then they had like the Botman header off the post, but
yeah,
we also had Talby had the shot, Rig had a shot as well, Xhaka had a shot. We were getting chances, so
yeah.
towards half time, when we got to half time, I mean, yeah, I agree with Anth that I wasn't really happy because we were losing, but I didn't think that we're terrible. It's game over. I thought that we've still got something in this game for us. Um, but yeah, Indigo, half time. How are you feeling?
Mixed feelings, to be honest. Regis Labris, I think, has a good reputation for fixing problems during halftime, and in most games that we perform awfully in the first half, we turn out better in the second half. Maybe it's because lots of our players are can run long distances for a long period of time, and I think that's something that they really value in their recruitment process. But anyways, I was optimistic for the second half, but at the same time was very concerned about us conceding so many corner kicks because the Newcastle players are just so much bigger than the Sunderland players. So that's one thing that I was very concerned about. But overall, relatively optimistic, but at the same time, very nervous too.
Yeah, no. You make a great point there, doesn't he, Kieran, about the set pieces? Because we did concede a lot of free kicks, a lot of corners, and with them having Dan Burn and Botman, we just got Alderete and O'Nien. We haven't got Ballard in there. I thought we dealt with the set pieces pretty well, didn't we?
So well, so really well. Yeah, I can't, except for the goal that was disallowed, which was rightly disallowed, which I'm sure we'll come to talk about later on. I can't really think of a single set piece that was threatening for them. They didn't really offer much in the way of set pieces at all, as Kay says, as Indigo says, for such a for a big team, with Burn, Botman. Eventually, Tiao came on after Brian sent Botman to the hospital. Um, they really did offer very little, and despite being a team renowned for having these fantastic wingers, Claire Bolden, he was playing through the middle this week, wasn't he? Who's the Harvey Barnes, Alan's boy, and I forget who else, but they're a team renowned for tricky wingers and getting the balls into the box. But I guess that's what happens when you play a 70 million pound striker in centre midfield. So, but it's not their fault. PSR's really shafted them. So
Yeah, sure it does.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's making them play their multi 70 million pound striker in centre midfield. So it's really not very fair on them. Once again, the victims in all of this.
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. They're key players like Gordon, Barnes, Joe Linton, Voldemar. They did absolutely fuck all. So, um, Anth, half time, 1-0. It's funny how, like, Luke O'Nien said in the dressing room at half time, like, the message from Xhaka was, like, basically, he said, he mentioned in his post match interview that Xhaka, like, when he talked to the team at half time, he gave, like, a script of, like, this is how it's going to go. And he said, literally, the
Yeah.
second half progressed as how Granit Xhaka says. It's like, it's incredible, isn't it? The rallying talks that Granit Xhaka gives at half time to say, listen, if we do this, this, and this is going to happen. And Luke O'Nien said, that's exactly what we did, and that's exactly what happened. So it's great to
Tactical
have that.
awareness.
Yeah, it's great
Yeah.
to have that leader in the dressing room, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And he's got the level of maturity to understand pretty much the skills, the flow of how Newcastle and their players would play. He hyper analyzes every single team he comes up against. You can see it. Um, I absolutely well, just like top level, Xhaka's recruitment is not only good for us in his play, like his tail end of his playing career. I think if he comes through us through his coaching license, he could possibly be one of the best managers, like Alonso style, um, in the coming years. He's won big trophies. He's done stuff against the odds a lot of the time. I really rate him. I think he's just a natural leader. And speaking of like the pre-match stuff, I think the only thing I really saw pre-match that got me amped up and gone, this is my fucking squad, this is my players, was his story about him being 4-year-old and having to look after his little brother and his older little brother with the key, and just that responsibility has been instilled in him from his very early ages. So like, yeah, like it doesn't surprise me that he's that aware of the problems, the flaw, and just the natural way of playing. He's just got that eye for it. Yeah, class.
Yeah, no, that interview was on Stan Sports, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, and the way he talked, he got emotional as well, and he said, like, yeah, he kind of relates to his childhood, to where he was brought up, and the way he sees like Sunderland as a city and the people. I think that like it hits a note certainly. Chris, second half we came out on the front foot from the off. I remember at the start of the second half, like Riggy put a cross in with his left foot, a peach of a cross, and Brobby actually got a header at the back post across the goal, but we had no one there. And I think that kind of set the tone, didn't it? That we meant business the second half.
Yeah, 100%. We were so much improved in the second half, and not to say that we played badly in the first half, but second half from the off we came out with real intent. You could see we were going to have a right go at them. That Brobby chance of begging for him to knock it into the middle, because I think Hertruda was in the middle, and he obviously knocked it wide, and nothing came of it. But yeah, you could see what the intent was. And Riggy, he was another one. He had a great game. I know he got player of the match. I thought he was superb. I thought his celebration at the end was very funny.
Oh.
Full marks for that. Full marks.
Yeah, he's definitely a Mackham now, isn't he?
Definitely.
But yeah, and then Ciaran, I think we mentioned before that Brian Brobby injured Sven Botman. To be honest, when I saw the replay, I thought he hasn't even fucking touched him there, but because it didn't look like hard contact, did it not?
They're the best ones, them ones. Yeah, no, he did. He caught him, but it wasn't particularly like an obvious foul, as you say there initially. You're looking at it and you're going, I'm not sure he's really caught him there, but yeah, on the replay you could see that he had. But that's life as a Premier League centre half coming up against one of the most physical centre forwards in the league in Brobby. And what a game he had! Obviously, richly deserved the goal, but just that Sunday was a example of how important he is to us, because without him, I think we said it on the Brighton podcast. Without him, we just look a different team. I think partly due to the thinness of our squad, but also partly due to no small part how good Robbie is himself, how physical he is himself. For a 24-year-old bloke as well, such a physical presence, and yeah, he causes handfuls for every centre half he comes up against, and yeah, he certainly played his part on Sunday. Did you see the interview with him after the game on
Yeah.
Match of the Day?
Yeah.
And he was
He's
like,
not
"Oh,
the best
good battle.
talker, is he?
I
No?
won."
Yeah, he's not the best talker, is he? He's like, how was your battle with Dan
Aye.
Burn? Good battle.
Yeah.
In the end, I won. So,
Yeah.
so,
Right.
yeah,
What more needs to be said?
exactly. No,
I
no.
think he encapsulated it perfectly.
Yeah. And I think on that tackle he made on Botman, I think like Botman actually puts his head down as well. So he's asking for trouble. I don't think it was any malice in from Robbie's part.
Absolutely.
Indigo, just before our goal, then our first goal, Chris Rigg had a shot saved on inside the box, so we were getting closer, weren't we? So the goal was coming. Did you feel that we were getting back into the game and we did have a good chance of scoring?
No, we really were in a much better position than we were in the first half, but I wasn't too optimistic because we usually don't do very well when we have the majority of the possession. So I was concerned if Newcastle sit back, we might have a little difficult time, but they didn't sit back very much, and that's why I thought I was relatively optimistic. Plus, their center halves aren't the best, so I was sure that somehow we would be able to score if we could create enough space on both flanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we did that from the corner. I think it was from the corner from Rigg's shot. I think that we got the goal, wasn't it? Anth, what a corner from Granit Xhaka! Oh, like in swinger. I mean, we haven't seen a corner like that from Sunderland for bloody ages.
I genuinely was trying to like figure out when the last time I actually saw a Sunderland corner go in the back of the net, and I think it was Dan Ballard's header against Coventry. But like, we don't score corners that often, but when they are, they're spectacular. Yeah, set pieces are not our go-to, but yeah, like what a way to get it back in. Can I just call out as well? I know we've got a little bit between part one and part two here, but Chris Rigg, I think, had the absolute game of his life. It was unreal. Like the amount of maturing he had during that game for me was just like the exact reason we've started him in a number of games. He's learning like a sponge from Xhaka, and that is the exact aptitude we want from every single one of our academy players. Quality. He was in the mix. Just more of that, please, from our development, because we can spend the big money on the striker to help Robbie up front next season, and reward our local youth with first team football in the Premier League. It's exactly what it's all about.
No, and on that note, and I'm going to bring Chris in about Chris Rigg. He had a fantastic game, and he's had a difficult season because he hasn't played much. And when he has played, he has looked a bit out of place. But I thought like it was like a coming of age match, wasn't it? I mean, coming of age performance from him. And he might have just played himself into the team for the rest of the season on that right-hand side, because we know how Lebris likes to have that left-footed person on the right side of midfield. I mean, Traore is not an out-and-out winger, but what he does is that he holds the ball up and he brings other people into play and uses it well. And I think Rigg possibly has the same ability to do that. It's just that he needs to learn the role and become a bit stronger. And I think he did that perfectly, didn't he, on Sunday?
Yeah, it's a bit of a perfect storm on that front, because obviously Traore is probably not going to see Traore again unless he makes some miraculous recovery. Riggs he's looked really lightweight, like he's been brushed off the ball really easily. He's come across these big, burly Premier League defenders, and it seems like he doesn't know what to do with them. But against Newcastle, he was superb. Like the way he battled them, he won a couple of battles with Dan Burn. That's no mean feat, the size of that thug. Superb. He had a really, really good performance. I think that's the Chris Rigg that most of us hoped we were going to see in the Premier League. I think now with his development and the time that he's got in training with the likes of Xhaka and the others, I think we're starting to see that level from him. So, and it's a perfect time to give him the rest of the season, right? Give him actual first team experience in the Premier League. We've got 7 games left. We're not going to go down. Give him a go. Give him some games, and let's get his experience up there, and get him trained up and ready for next season.
Absolutely. Right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back. I want to hear everyone's story of how they reacted when that equalising goal went in and the rest. So we'll be back for part 2 in a couple of minutes. All right, welcome back to part two. So, the goal. We'll start with Ciaran. How did you react, mate?
Oh man, it was we all got together to watch it. There was about 18 of us in a bar in Wan Chai in Hong Kong, bar 109, and yeah, the place absolutely erupted. We had the whole back room to ourselves and just jumping everywhere, hugging everyone. God, it was just unbelievable, man. Yeah, I think we had two more moments like that in the second half. One when their goal was disallowed, and then full time as well. We had there was about 4 or 5 people recording full time for the final whistle coming on, the final whistle being blown. So we've got it from like all different angles and stuff. The group chat's just like, and here's an angle from this corner, here's an angle from this corner. But yeah, it was just absolutely unbelievable, man. Just scenes, absolute scenes.
Yeah, Indigo. I was in Bilbao watching it with Jeff from the podcast who came from Menorca, and I was up there celebrating. Like and I was in the living room of Johnny's house, and I punched the lamp again like I did last time. And I got a bruised hand again because his lamp's quite low. Did you get a bit nervous that it might get ruled out for something? Because I don't know, it looked like I think Diarra was at the back post, and he went to go with his chest. It might have hit his hand. It was like offside, possibly. Who knows? So Jeff in the house, in Johnny's house, he was just sat down like this, and I'm not celebrating until it gets confirmed. But I was up there. What about you?
I was in the moment very much, and we were all hugging each other in our watch party, screaming. So I didn't quite have the mental capacity to think about the possibilities of any offsides or any fouls in the mix of things. But yeah, I'm very happy that it didn't get ruled out, and we were screaming at the top of our lungs after scoring that goal.
Brilliant. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, lots and lots of screaming and yelling and jumping up and down. I think I texted you saying that I think I woke up at least 8 of my near neighbours, so I'm probably not too popular at the minute. But yeah, there was a lot of yelling.
Right, and Anth, I'm going to share this video because you did a live watch along.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
going to
show
get
and
this
tell
up.
essentially for me there. Yeah. Just be mindful. There might be a couple of swear words, so if you're sensitive to that.
No, well, listen, we have Ian from CM on the podcast, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, no, okay.
Let me have a look. I'm going to try and share my screen if I can. Where is it? Hang on. Because
Did
what's
you get
Zoom?
Jabber on beforehand as well?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get Jabber on as well.
Do it at 6:55.
Right, 6:55. Okay, so let me know when you see me screen, lads, and then
There we go.
can you see
Yeah,
it?
we got it. We got it. Yeah.
Right, okay, so yeah, that's Jabber the Mag. Fucking hell, if I look like that, I definitely wouldn't go on YouTube and do live streams, that's for sure.
Somebody needs to talk to him about camera angles.
Right,
Jesus.
here we go. Here's Jabber the Mag introducing Anth Mackham's Talby celebrations.
Maybe Bobby did handball it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh, you muppet.
Come on! Oh, Talby! Let's fucking go!
Get in! Get in! Get in!
Are you happy now, boy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's gonna get VAR'd, but it's a goal. I can't see how it's not. If they're gonna hyper analyze every millimeter of this, that's gonna be bullshit. Sunderland corner, whipped in, Xhaka, cleared out. Hume feeds it back in.
I might be offside.
It's not offside. No players are offside. There's 2 players on the Newcastle post.
Dangerous. We've got to be on our toes.
There you go. So hypercritical, like criticize the highlights as well, and just go, you can't see that as offside. You
You,
can't see it as handball.
you made put you
Just
in a bit of doubt there, don't you? Because you got a bit like excited and went like your face went a bit serious.
yeah, I've got it. Yeah, no, 100%. But that kind of thing for Sunderland is not unheard of. Just things getting rolled out, and you're like, oh no. There you go.
Yeah, no, and it's like Paul in Thailand, who's on the podcast as well sometimes, he always says, why do we never score like those type of scrappy goals? It's like, well, on Sunday we did score one of those scrappy goals, and I think um, Ciaran, the corner that we took, man, like Granit Xhaka whipped that ball in. You got right under the keeper, which is where corners should be, because the amount of players now that go next to the keeper, you've got to whip that ball into the keeper, and then put him under pressure. Make sure you don't foul him, and then get the scraps. And like Trey Hume whips it back in. Diarra's at the back post, scramble. Talby's in the right place, and it's a simple goal, isn't it? But it's all come from that set piece.
Diarra does so well, in my opinion, as well. In that time, like sort of to maneuver his body in a way to get the ball onto his chest to sort of he almost like try to chest it himself. But yeah, just absolutely class. Unbelievable ball from Granit, who had, as I said earlier on, just a phenomenal game of football. It's at this point, it's like I'm not sure what you lads think, but I can't think of a single better centre midfielder I've ever seen play for Sunderland. I saw on X today. There's a sort of 3 or 4 minute highlight compilation of just Granit Xhaka's passes forward and just all the good things he did. And lads, we're watching greatness. Like we've never seen the likes of this.
Yeah,
And
no,
you know,
that
God
real.
willing, we do see it and better again. But like, what a performance! Like, just everything you want in your derby and a captain. Like controlled aggression. Not I love Lee Cattermole, but I loved Lee Cattermole, but like you know, you felt he was always sort of walking a tightrope. There was always that edge. Is he going to go too far? With Granit Xhaka, you never ever feel like that. It was such a mature performance, such a captain's performance, such a leader. And yeah, we're absolutely blessed being able to watch that every week. And you know, he's been. I don't think he's been at his best in the last few weeks since he came back from injury. Particularly, we haven't really seen the Granit that we saw before the injury. But my God, did we see it yesterday and we saw it in spades.
Yeah, you mentioned that reel, that post on X, I think it is, and I haven't seen the video, but I'm gonna watch it later. But yeah, it sounds impressive. Chris, Regis was celebrating passionately on the touchline as he does when we get a goal like that. After that, we controlled the game. I thought even more. Just after, Granit Xhaka had a loop and shot over the bar, which got deflected. The home fans, they were getting really restless, weren't they? Like the Mag fans, they were booing. Like when they couldn't string an attack together, they were on a counter attack and they played like a long ball which went through to Elborg and Anthony Gordon was chasing it. And like when that happens, you know, like things are turning.
Yeah, they were getting really antsy. I don't know, like I don't know if it was the same commentary across the world. I assume it was because I think it was on Sky or something. But the commentators on the feed over here, they were kind of saying, talking about the amount of points that they've dropped at home even when they've gone ahead, and I think they're highest in the league or something. Um, but they're also saying like as soon as another team equalizes, they tend to collapse, and they just couldn't handle us. Like as soon as we scored, you could see their heads drop, and we were just in control. As you say, there was really nothing to worry about. The only time they I wouldn't even say threatened, but the only time they looked like they were trying to create something was after we scored the second, and they were just hurling the kitchen sink forward. They were just lumping balls forward. There was no shape, there was nothing. There was just bodies in the area. That was the only other time that I kind of thought, something might drop here. But for the most part, the rest of that second half was all ours.
I think that's when the game became a stretch, wasn't it? Like after
Yeah.
that moment, because it was kind of end to end. Siddiqui had a shot in the area, similar position to Rig, where he just blasted straight at the keeper rather than placing it. We had a nervous moment, though, didn't we, Indigo, when Harvey Barnes had a shot and it was deflected off her Trouder. Elborg was totally out of position, and thankfully for us, it went wide.
Yeah, very nervous moment, but I in general thought the end-to-end stuff would benefit Sunderland because our players are very good at running long distances, while uh, the Newcastle players are slightly older, bigger, and aren't as suited for end-to-end football, I think. So that's why in in the greater scheme of everything, I thought that end-to-end stuff would surely benefit our side rather than a more controlled approach from Newcastle. So that's the positives, but at the same time, it was a very, very nervous moment. And I did think we had to get ourselves together in order to win the game.
Yep. No, and we certainly did. Anth, I don't know if that the corner for their disallowed goal was a result of that deflected shot. I can't remember if it was that one or if it came later. But the disallowed goal, I mean, it's the one time where we didn't really get the defensive side right, but I mean, it was clearly offside. He was in front of Melker Elberg, and so they can have no complaints about that. I mean, I was listening to Sky Sports commentary. Alan Smith was like saying, "Oh, come on, they're not going to rule it out for that," and all of a sudden he changed his mind, the prick.
Yeah, but well, it's Alan Smith, mate. Like, what do you expect? I know Indigo's got a little bit of affiliation with some Leeds fans there, but if he plays for the clubs he has,
No,
you
but
can
this is
see why
Alan
he's a little
Smith,
bit biased.
the Cockney, the ex-Arsenal, not Leeds. Did he play for Leeds?
Oh,
I don't think he played for Leeds. He played for Arsenal, didn't he?
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
the
Different
older
Alan
one.
Smith. Different
Yeah.
Alan Smith. Got you.
Yeah.
So the goal itself, absolutely 100% offside. The thing I was more worried about was VAR just giving it, because the person who is offside and interrupting and fouling the goalkeeper essentially to block the save doesn't touch the ball at all. So sometimes I have seen them given, and that's what I was more worried about. I was like, it's clearly that's a foul, that's offside. You can't do that. And finally, a VAR decision that is technically right was given to us. So yeah, there's nothing more visceral from me than my hatred for Murphy and Willock. Like, I can't stand. I just don't like how they look as human beings. Never mind as mag players. So just the fact that he got punished for something he does that week in, week out, by the way, and that's maybe a tactic they're quite used to. I don't know. Do you think our defending on that? This is a question directly back to you. Do you think our defending on that corner was sufficient enough to warrant a clean Newcastle shot? Like, were we poor in that defending?
I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, because like for the majority of the game, we defended really well from set pieces, and I think there's always going to be one time where they might get a clear header or goal. But yeah, I think it was just one of those things. And as you mentioned, like Murphy was clearly offside. He was like clearly trying to block Elborg. But Chris, I'm going to bring this to you because it was Anthony Taylor, the referee, who actually ruled it out, and then it got checked and cleared by VAR. And on to Anthony Taylor, I thought when he was announced as the official, I thought that's a pretty good appointment because I think he's probably the best of a not very great bunch of Premier League referees at the minute.
Yeah, he overall he had a very good game. He had a couple that I didn't agree with, but overall I think he had a really good game. That ref cam was quite nifty. I quite like that when they got to cut into that every now and then. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, no, I think he had a good game. He was solid. I mean, I think I'm going to go back, but that foul early on Hume, like Alanga's foot, it had no right to be where it was. Like, it was very dramatic kind of movement. Like, I think he knew what he was doing. I think there should have been some ramification for that. There was probably another couple of free kicks here and there that I didn't agree with, but overall, yeah, he had a good game.
He didn't let it get out of control, didn't he? He
No.
controlled the game, you know what I mean? Like, there were times where it could have boiled over, but I think he kind of handled it really well, and that's probably
Yeah.
one of our biggest criticisms of referees, isn't it? That they lose control.
Yeah, he was very calm. He didn't let it's cliche. He didn't let the occasion get to him. But he handled it really well. Like when players were arcing up and arguing, he just kind of laughed at them, and that always like puts them back in the box because they just go, oh, okay. Yeah. Overall, he had a really good game. I don't think we can have too many complaints about what he did and didn't do, to be honest.
Yep. Ciaran, Claire Baldwin, aka Anthony Gordon, he had basically two shots which were identical, and you can tell it wasn't his day. 85 minutes, and I think soon after he got taken off because he was absolutely shite. Then we had a chance as well. Chris Rigg Oh, he tried to take the ball, didn't he? He slid in and he actually took out Granit Xhaka, who was about to let rip on the edge of the box. Then we have Enzo Lafite come on for Habib Diarra after 84 minutes. Were you surprised that Regis waited so long for the subs, or do you think it was like in the end perfect timing?
I think we said we were watching. Obviously, we were watching it together as a supporters club, and we the consensus that we came to was they just weren't fit enough. Like clearly the Mukiele, Roofs, obviously Roofs was never going to come on. Yeah, Mukiele, Ronaldo, and Lefebvre just they mustn't have been fit enough for the to start the game. And so yeah, maybe come on last 20, last 15. But they all three of them did eventually come on and contributed contributed to the win in the end, especially Enzo with the assist. But yeah, I just think it was a case of not wanting to risk them. Obviously, we've had our fingers burnt in the past in recent weeks with Traore, who came on, lasted 5 minutes, and then went back off with a reoccurrence of the injury. So I can completely see Reggie's point as to why he wouldn't want to rush the players back, kind of thing. And yeah, I in Reggie I trust. If he doesn't want to bring anyone on until the 84th minute, then that's completely his decision. He knows a lot better than I do. So in Reggie I trust. But no,
Yeah.
all three of them did end up coming on and yeah, contributed well to the ending of the game. I thought going back to the referee there, yeah, he did have a good game, but I thought he got very card happy after we scored the winner. Like, I think he booked Ronaldo, like Sadiq did do a bit of a madness. But yeah, I think was it Talby he booked for like it was just a little trip. Oh, Gertruda maybe, sort of like a trip in the center of our half. Thought it was very harsh to like brandish the yellow straight away. So yeah, I do think he got a little bit card happy towards the end of the game, but I'd agree that in general, he refereed the game very well, and when it mattered, when the decision needed to be made to disallow the host's goal. He did it, and fair play to him and his team for having the bollocks to do it. Really,
Hmm.
so it's a. I know we joked about the atmosphere earlier on, but there's a lot of pressure on a referee in that atmosphere, in that environment, in a home stadium of the team that you're about to disallow the goal for. So yeah, fair play to him for having the cojones for that.
Absolutely. Uh, I want to bring you in and talk about like the defending because there were three moments. I think there was an 09 clearance like on 83 minutes where he just basically put his body on the line and he got taken out by Tiao. There was that one. Alderete was putting his body on the line. He was like intercepting everything. And then in one of the last attacks of the game, her Trouder like got his foot to the ball just in time. And I think that was really, really rewarding. And the players like got what they deserved, the 3 points. But I thought like even Trey Hume had a very good game at left back. And I think the defenders need to get more credit than they really got, I think.
Yeah, besides the '09 early massive mistake from '09, I thought '09 was very decent throughout the game, and all four of the defenders really were absolutely brilliant and put their body on the line when it mattered most. And unfortunately, Hume picked up an early yellow card, so I'm sure he couldn't go in with those with his trademark tackles, and that was a bit disappointing. But besides that, I thought everything was superb. Maybe one or two crunching tackles would have made things even better, but I'm happy with the result. We pretty much didn't concede very many massive chances, and only one mistake cost us. So pretty much, I'm very, very pleased with the performance from the back four.
Yep, absolutely. Anth, I'm going to bring you in now because on 85
Great.
minutes, the commentators said like, "Oh, but by the way, we've become aware of a situation in the stands where
Mhm.
Lutzarel Gertruida was racially abused by a fan." I mean, they mentioned this in the 85th minute, but did this not happen in the first half? Because
It was the first half, yeah.
there was
It
a
was the
point
first
where
half.
the ref went to talk with the two coaches, didn't he? And they were having a chat.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was around the 37 off to 39 minute mark. Because I was like, why isn't the game restarting? And everybody was having a chin wag down by the touchline. So there was clearly something going on in the stands. Maybe they kicked that one out at half time or basically immediately. But if it persisted in the 85th as well, there's a pocket and a section of Mag fans, and I'm not going to. As much as I don't like the Mags overall, I'm not going to sweep them all with that brush. But there is pockets of wankers in there that need to be kicked out of the game completely. You can have banter left, right, and centre, but there's no place for that kind of nonsense in football. There's no place in that in society as a whole either. Just fucking grow. So yeah, there was that incident. I don't know if it was definitely the first half because they added an extra couple of minutes in the first half, and I think was it 9 minutes given or at the end of the game? It was 7 minutes given, but with 9 minutes played.
Yeah,
because I think the Mags played all of their subs before we even made one. So it's like it's clear and obvious that that's going to take forever. But I think, sorry, I just wanted to add the last 2 points because it's well away from your question. So you were talking about how well we defended and Trey Hube getting the yellow card. That was a very smart yellow card to take because it was basically a massive counter and a flood of Newcastle players against us. So for me, that yellow card is one of the smartest bit of defending we did all day. And the goal itself, I can't believe Bobby got a yellow card for taking the shirt off. What's that about? Just how many yellow cards did we end up having at the end of that, by the way?
He looks good. He looks fine. He's Sunderland's number 9, mate.
He looks good. He looks fine.
But no, on your point there, like, I totally agree with what you said. Like, not all Mags are wankers, but there are some wankers. And Chris, I was having some banter with you before, like saying Northumbria Police put out a statement saying we're aware of social media videos circulating of unrest between Sunderland and Newcastle fans. And I was thinking, no, it's Sunderland fans being escorted to the stadium and the team bus getting pelted with glass bottles, with cans. And they actually were going to say that it went largely without any issues. And I was thinking, hang on, Sunderland fans were walking down and they were getting beer thrown at them and all sorts. There was some fans who weren't even escorted, like they were kind of wedged in between Newcastle fans and police trying to hold them back. And then they only say 3 people got arrested. Both fans were goading each other. I was like, that's pretty biased from Northumbria Police. And I thought it was quite shocking because when they came to our house, they got marched in and out without any problems. And there was no issues at all. But I thought it was like poor from their fans and Northumbria Police. But anyway, Chris, on that note then, the goal, take it away.
Wow, you give me this one. Yeah, like I said, I literally screamed at the TV. I yelled at the top of my voice when it went in. And having watched it back to back twice again, I
only twice.
Only twice back to back. I don't know if it's Schadenfreude or just general dislike of them. When he scores, I immediately look to the scum fans to see them throwing their arms in the air and just giving them the fingers and like all the childish behaviour that they do. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I think I know it's been on Instagram heaps. The club have put it out like a number of times, and there's been a number of angles of the replay. Everything about the move is top draw. Everything, every pass is spot on. Every move is spot on. When Enzo gets into the area and he goes to the byline, I thought he's held on to it too long. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, cross it earlier. To meg 2 players and for it to get through to Proppy, and then he gets 2 bites of the cherry. Wow, absolute perfection. And the way they, a couple of their defenders just hit the deck and the keepers sprawled out, and it's just, it's perfect. Hang it in the Louvre.
Couldn't agree more. Ciaran, your turn.
Yeah, well, obviously, all came again from Granite playing a cracking ball to
Enzo,
Siddiqui, who
it was
to Enzo and then Enzo played it back to Siddiqui and then yeah. So yeah, Granite's initial great forward pass to Enzo, who played it off to Siddiqui. I think like Chris just said there, he thought that Enzo thought the chance had gone. He took it too far. I agreed, but I thought it was a bit of a shit pass from Siddiqui. So when Siddiqui was running in the box, I was like, play him, play him, play him. And then when he took away, I was like, oh, sick. Oh yeah, just Enzo doing Enzo things, just sticking it through one pair of legs just is not good enough for him. He needs that second pair of legs. And yeah, just humiliated two defenders. Supposedly England's star left back at the World Cup and whoever the other barcode was. And then yeah, big man being Johnny on the spot, right place, right time. I actually thought you know, does go very much against the grain to give anybody playing under that badge any credit. But I actually thought Ramsdale did really well with the first attempt. Thought he made himself big and like got his body in the way of it, but the reactions from the big fella to almost he almost hit it as he was falling to the floor, didn't he? So it wasn't an easy finish the way that it fell back to him. And yeah, writing his name into Sunderland folklore history and sometimes I won't even be watching. I was in school today and I was just sitting at my desk and I just thought about it and I just felt me fists clench and I was like, come on. It's it's football, eh? Bloody hell.
Do you know what? I want to make Aaron Ramsdale feel worse because apparently that save that he made, the shot was going out apparently, so he actually brought it back into play.
Well, there you go. What do I know? Well
Indigo.
done, Aaron. All is forgiven.
Yeah. Indigo, did Tokyo erupt when that Robbie winner went in?
Yeah, definitely. Many of the Leeds fans went home at halftime because they wanted to get home early. But I told them that they had to stay for the second half because we will pull off a miracle, and we did indeed. So the whole Sunderland fan-owned bar was erupting at that time late at night, and great. I thought the cameraman did great work there, showing us each and every one of the faces of the Mag fans that are holding their head and that have just amazing facial expressions to sum up the brilliant performance they had in the second half. So, yeah, absolutely wonderful night and great way to end a brilliant game.
Oh yeah, the Mag fans' faces, like, and also the players, like they just collapsed to the floor. That was brilliant to see. Anth, go on then. How was your reaction?
Again, the reactions are all effort to say, but just a summary of it, it's just that pure adulation and eruption of just tension. So this this goal again, just clear that holding off of waiting of Enzo feet to do the pass. It's like, oh, is he let it gone out? Because there was a slide tackle coming in, he just cuts it through, and it's like, oh, it is so sleek, and that just shows you how much we've come in 12 months. Like the amount of just quality we have in our squad, regardless of who it is, attacking wise, it's there. I think there's a lot of work to be done from us. Don't get me wrong, but that goal, oh, I could watch that on replay, just constant on loop for years now. Really, I know it's not like the most beautiful goal in the world, but it's just everything we've been working against and for epitomized. So 6 easy points, really. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think what I love about the goal is that it kind of sums up our play, doesn't it? I mean, the transition, everything starts from Granit Xhaka and his vision to see Siddiqui in tons of space. And then what we want from Siddiqui as a player is we want him to drive forward, and you want him then to give it to a creative player like Enzo. And as Ciaran said, it was a shit pass. He did overplay it. And what I loved about Enzo was the way he was so calm and composed on the ball. He didn't panic. It's like the 90th minute, and we're all saying, get the fucker in the box. And he takes a touch, it takes him right on the edge of the byline, and you're thinking, is it going to go out for a goal kick or something like that? If that was another player, they probably would have just like been desperate, stretched, and try and do a shit cross and get cleared. But Enzo took 2 touches, he composed himself, and he nutmegs 2 players. He nutmegs Lewis Hall, and he makes Dan Burn do that fucking stupid dance he does with his legs without even asking him to. So that was just beautiful. And as we mentioned, Brobby, his first attempt was going wide. Ramsdale brings it back in. And then obviously to have that, the reflexes to the reaction to swing it back in. And then the celebrations. Chris, Robbie takes his shirt off. That's what I dream about at night, to look like that, but I'll never look like that.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with that, mate, before Chris jumps in.
No, I haven't got a six pack like that. I'm not built like that, but that's a conversation for another day. But Chris, it was great to see the celebrations in front of the. There was so much going on. There was Robbie giving it there. There was Trowder giving it the big fuck off. Joe Linton's trying to push us away. Granit Xhaka saying, "You fuck off."
Fuck off.
There was so much happening, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was another brilliant moment in a series of brilliant moments against these black and white. Um, yeah, it was amazing. It was a great celebration. I mean, I'll back you up. If I look like Robbie, I'd take my shirt off all the time as well. So completely understand where you're coming from. It was superb. I thought it was very funny the way how cranky Joe Linton was getting, and Xhaka was just like, no, we're celebrating. Just off you pop. It was just fabulous. It was so good because if they'd have done it, they'd have been obviously it's their home stadium and all the rest of it. They'd have been milking it for all it was worth. The fact that he was trying to get us back to start the game again, just cool your jets, you thug. You just hang on a minute. So yeah, it was great. It was superb, and seeing all the mags and their gurning faces twisted at us again, brilliant.
Yeah. Anth, there was another moment where Dan Burn goes to tackle Enzo Lafie and it goes out for a goal kick. And then Dan Burn walks away. Enzo just fucking laughs at him in his face. It's like brilliant moment. And then the final whistle, Anth. I don't know if you, I was it was hard to see what was going on, but I saw like Elborg and loads of players gathered around one player, and I realised it was actually Luke O'Nine who was on the ground, just like emotional, in tears, and that was like a lovely moment, I thought, to see.
Oh, 100%, mate. I don't think there's any two ways about it. Luke O'Nien puts his heart on the pitch every single time. He's just that man for Sunderland. He lives and breathes this club. He understands exactly what it means, even to the point where he's putting his body on the line. Like he would quite categorically, essentially, jump in front of a bullet if it stopped a goal. Like you can see it. He's done it like 3 times in that game as well. So yeah, that to me just shows you how much of a solid team we are. We're not just individuals with brilliance. We're a team. And it's been a while since we've had a team that felt this like connected. It could have went completely the wrong way when we got promoted and done a recycle. So there's something to be said about how our recruitment, getting the right people, getting the right mentality, and obviously Luke O'Nien just being the charismatic man he is, shows you that he's a draw to the players and they all respect him. The mistake he made, they recovered and helped him for it. And that's what we've got. We've got a fighting team. We've not just got Joe Linton, this prima donna. We haven't got Bruno, who, because Bruno's missing, we're going to lose the game. We could have lost the game because we didn't have Dan Bollard. We're a solid team. That's exactly what you want from football.
Yeah, and the way you mentioned that, like the team, like connected with the fans, as Reggie would say, connected. But I can't remember a time when we've had so many songs for players. Like there's so many. Like a lot of the team have like a song. Right, well, lads, I just want to finish very quickly by showing you a couple of other things I've seen on social media, which I thought were quite funny. So the first one, I don't know if you can see this. Apparently, Newcastle fans, if you drive fast past this van, you might get 3 points out of Sunderland next season. So I thought that one was quite funny. I think you can see that, lads. Right, and then
Yeah, we can. Very funny.
yeah, and then the next one is this one. There's Eddie Howe begging outside the city.
So we're going to punch it.
The horse.
And I think that's Adam Pearson. Adam Pearson running out the background there, chasing the horse. So yeah, keep them coming. Keep the gifs, the reels coming, and so on. But anyway, lads, we're going to wrap it up there.
Can we have a couple of minutes for Anthony Gordon's comments after the game?
Go on then, quickly.
Just does that not sum up in microcosm everything about that club? The arrogance of them, the delusion of them. And I honestly believe that's a massive part of why we've been so successful in the fixtures we have been, because they just they continually don't take us seriously, and it's absolutely fine. Lads, crack on, deride us all you like, play us down, say that you're better than us, say you're the better team. If only there was some sort of metric that we could look at over the course of a season or something, which tells you which teams have been better than which teams. Until somebody invents that sort of metric, that I guess we'll never know. But yeah, for him to come out with those comments after losing to let's have it right, a Sunderland reserve team, missing our best goalkeeper, missing our best left back, our best right back, our creative number 10, so many important players, and yeah, we're fucking bodygers again, lads.
Yeah,
and long may it continue.
What did he say?
Keep on talking us down, keep on deriding us.
What was he saying? He's saying like they're not a very good team. Well, you're not a very good Claire Bolden look like either. Right, lads. Yes, we will finish there because we're almost out of time. But just looking at the table, we are 11th, 43 points. They're just behind us on 42. We haven't lost in 12 league games. I think it's like 9 wins and 3 draws. Happy days. Next game is against Tottenham on the 12th of April. Hopefully, the 3 points there and push ourselves for Europe place. Who knows? But anyway, lads, Indigo in Japan, Ciaran in Hong Kong, Anth and Chris in Brisbane. Many thanks for coming on. This will be the first of a few review shows I'm going to do because I want to try and get as much reaction as possible around the world. But anyway, lads, thanks for coming on. How are the lads? Fuck the mags. See you next time.
That's the end.
Thanks, Phil. How are the lads?
Yeah, how are the lads? Fuck the mags.
Come on, you bastards!